Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swatt with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about concerns at the state capitol about a new hidden tax that the State Air Resources Board will be imposing on Californians, a tax that could increase a gallon of gas by 12 cents. My guest this segment is Kristin Olsen, who's a member of the State Assembly from Modesto. Thanks very much for being with us, and I know you're very concerned about this issue, you and many of your colleagues. And I guess we're talking about California's cap and trade program, a portion of it, in which those who contribute to greenhouse gases are supposed to pay extra, pay a fee, basically, for the right to do that. And starting in January, it affects fuel distributors. Correct.
That's exactly right. Great summary. So the latest regulation to go into effect related to cap and trade will begin January 1st. And what it's going to do, it's going to increase the cost of gasoline by at least 12 cents per gallon as a hidden tax. We already pay the highest gas taxes in the entire nation, 71 cents per gallon. This will add at least another 12 cents, and because of the volatility in the market, it could go up to 40 cents a gallon. That would mean well over 20% of the cost of gas is in taxes alone, and yet we still have terrible air quality, roads that are in disrepair. Californians cannot afford to pay more, and they shouldn't have to.
But there's no guarantee necessarily that this will affect the gasoline taxes, because the oil companies could just absorb it and not pass it on.
Actually, that's not true. Even CARB has acknowledged in their own documents that the cost of the carbon credits will be passed on to consumers at the pump. And so the minimum, the floor, would be at 12 cents per gallon, but it is likely to increase in the months or years ahead, and as I said, could increase even immediately to 40 cents, because the volatility within this new market that's been created is so unpredictable and fluctuates up and down so much. And so it's consumers that are going to be paying the price tag.
And consumers in the Central Valley that you represent, in Southern California, where there's a lot of congestion, a lot of traffic and a lot of commuting, I mean, they're going to basically have it worse than others, probably.
They are. In fact, there have been reports that show lower income families in particular pay a disproportionate amount of this cost. They spend 20% of their incomes, generally speaking, on transportation costs, far more than in many areas of the state. So it really has a disproportionate impact on those communities. But no Californians can afford to pay this. In fact, a recent poll was done that showed 81% of people already think we are taxed too much at the pump. And as a mom who's trying to raise a family with 3 kids, it's painful every time I have to fill up my car. And the fact that that price is going to be going up even more due to taxes is just, I can't even believe it.
So who are the decision makers here? It's CARB. I mean, they're
CARB.
creating the regulations.
That's exactly right. And that's another concern, is that a state agency could impose a very expensive hidden tax like this without any legislative approval, without any oversight. And so I'm urging my colleagues in the legislature for all of us to come together and work on alternative solutions. Because again, Californians cannot afford to pay any more in taxes than they're already paying at the pump. We have to come up with other alternatives that will be less expensive and that will actually improve the air quality.
And there has been a suggestion of a flat carbon tax, but that wouldn't fly with you either.
There have been a number of suggestions. In fact, I recently was able to go to British Columbia. They've instituted a carbon tax, and there are pros and cons to that system as well. But interestingly enough, the revenue that's collected, 100% of it is returned to the taxpayers in lower tax rates. So we should look at that.
All right. Kristin Olsen, thank you very much for coming by and talking about this issue that not a lot of people know, but I know that the publicity is starting to percolate up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable.